Hi, everyone, from me, Brent Graham, and welcome to GGGaming Gone Mad, the show sponsored by GGGaming.bet. As you'll see their logo at the top of the page, a nice new look we've got now. I've also got some nice branded clothing, courtesy of Gary Lentin and GGGaming. Good to have you with us. If you're watching the premiere, it's Wednesday, 9 o'clock. We're going to be talking a bit of golf, a bit of rugby, and anything else really that catches our eye. Gary Lentin, good to have you on the show. I like the opening video.
Yeah, much better, Brent. I see you spending some of that money that we pay you and upgrading the things. What is it? We pay about, 140 grand a month, and you've now spent
somewhere there.
Yeah, you spent 750 rand upgrading the site. I mean, I'm happy that the capex is flowing out from there. So, yeah, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all pretty good stuff and all exciting, and it is looking good, and it is part of our commitment. Jokes aside, I know that, you know what I mean, you don't get paid money. You do it for the love, and I know that. But it is part of our commitment to improve the show and to give people more of what they want. And the easiest way for us to give them more of what they want is for them to tell us what they want and what's going to work best for that. And I mean, we are totally open to that, you and I. Any suggestions the guys have got, let them send them and put them forward, and we'll have a look at it, even competitions that they got in mind or anything that they'd like to do. And anybody that, you know what I mean, spots there that there's a comment, there should be a full stop instead of the comma there after the third W, Brent, but that's okay. When you do type it out, guys, as it turns out, you don't have to even put the www.
I'm impressed, Gary. I'm hell of impressed.
So we want to bring people entertainment that they enjoy and that they can watch on a weekly basis. We have got a few things in mind, and we are going to make it worthwhile. There you go. And like you said, we're going to give away some vouchers in your Thursday night 9 p.m. show. So the guys need to tune in there as well, Brent, to see what GGGaming is giving away as far as the rugby is concerned. So tonight on this show, all the vouchers are going to be pretty much on general knowledge. Maybe we've got a question about our logo, and we've got a couple of golf things that we want to launch. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of the focus at GGGaming is on golf as well, Brent. I want to make that clear from the outset. You know, it's something that I believe in, and it's something that I love to do is punt on golf. And I think that as a South African, the industry, we haven't given enough. And, you know, you know what I mean? We're going to launch a lot of things this week, including live in play from the first tee shot right until the last putt is sunk. We're going to bet round 1 and round 2 who the leader will be after round 1 and round 2 live in play. We're going to give each way betting right up until the third round, sometimes even the fourth round. Nowhere else can you get places after round 1. I mean, I think it's poor that they just cut it out after round 1. You're gone. And I mean, I think that golf's a game you want to watch and see what's happening and see how the guys are playing. It's a type of game where you can watch a guy for 8 hours and then make up your mind what you want to do. So we're going to allow the places into day 3. We're going to give all our places, we're going to have the same odds as everybody else, except we're going to offer 6 places, not 5 places.
Okay, that's good.
And we're going to have top 10 and top 20. And on your recommendation, it's something that I'm still working on. It's going to take a while. It's not easy. We're going to try and see what we can do about places that if your guy comes, if you take a top 6 and he finishes 6th with 3 or 4 guys, you don't get dead heat rules that absolutely kill you. The dead heat rules are 100% fair. I mean, they've been worked out.
No, fair enough. Yeah, agreed.
But I want to try and incentivize the guys to come through to bet with us. There's no reason why they shouldn't now. Our prices will be as good as anybody else. We'll have extra places, and we're going to also, I think, try give more than we should on golf, just to get the guys there. I want to own the golf market. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I want to do it in such a way. I don't think golf's a sport where you want to be punting big. I think that the people fall in on golf when somebody looks like a certainty at 1 to 12 and they put on their 24 grand to try pinch 2,000, and then it's, you know, in the water, drop, a guy makes an eagle. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for guys. Who can go out there and have a little bit of fun on a Sunday night, even on a Thursday night. If you need instant gratification, take your round 1 leader. There you go. You don't even have to like the guy. You can watch a guy get into the hut, -7, that's leading, and there are a few guys chasing at 4 and 5, but you know that the weather's going to be poor. Back the guy that's in there. We're giving you a lot of options. Come on to GGGaming and have some fun on the golf. I think there's going to be entertainment there.
Excellent. Well, Gary, I want to touch on the one competition we're going to run. We're going to let guys email me, Brent at Good for the Game. I'll bring the email address up. But it's on this particular tournament, the Travelers Champs. So they're going to have to get the emails in before the first tee off. We'll check what time that is, but probably around about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And effectively what I've done here, Gary, I've picked 6 golfers or 12 golfers, and I've paired them against each other, very similar to the betting. So if you were pricing up on these, you'd probably be most of them 9 to 10 the pair. Maybe the shortest price you'd get is 7 to 10, 11 to 10. So picking 6 winners here is going to be fairly tough. I'm just going to bring the names up there. It's McIlroy against Justin Thomas. They're both sort of 12 to 1 co-favorites. Brooks Koepka is 20 to 1. Rahm is 18 to 1, and I'm giving outright odds now. Dustin Johnson, I think, is 25, the same as Cantlay. Rose, also around the 25 to 1 mark. Bubba, I think, is 28. Reed is 33. Spieth is 40. And then we got Poulter. I like this little one. I've thrown it at the end here. Ian Poulter, he's 80 to 1. And Frittelli, I don't know if you saw how Frittelli finished on the weekend in the USA. I think he shot a 62. He charged up the leaderboard. South African interest, of course, and he is sitting at around 125 to 1 on your site there, Gary. So those are the 6. And what we're saying to the guys is, if you can pick the 6 winners of those 6 2-balls that we put there, if you get all 6 right, it's a 6,000 Rand voucher. Winner take all. Obviously, if more than one get it, we'll split the voucher, but it won't be that easy. And you could email me your selections to brent@goodforthegame.co.za.
You do lose on the draw, but
yes,
I will say that if somebody gets 5 in a draw, Brent, then I'm happy to give that guy at least 3,000 or maybe even 6,000, depending if I like him or her. But if
it's her, there's more chance you'll like her.
If you get 5 in a draw and you don't get anything, it means you don't take your account to WSB and ask them if they'll open something for you. Now, obviously, like all my customers, but we will overlook it in certain instances if it's reasonable and fair in the best interest of everything. Go back to this, Brent. The guys can only win what they bet in the 30 days up until then. Is that fair enough?
Yes. So what we've got is the link to the TNCs below. I don't know if we spoke about 30 days or 2 weeks in the TNCs. We'll have to just check. But whatever's in those TNCs, we're putting it in the box below the show, and the guys have to do that. So if a guy's bet 1,000 Rand and he wins the thing, then he can win 1,000 Rand voucher, which is fair enough. You know, like you've always said, you want to be there for the guys, but at the same time, you're there, looking for loyalty both sides.
And we are going to be giving away more than 6,000. There are going to be plenty of 10s and 20s. And spend your money there. If you're going to spend, I'm not asking you to spend money you normally wouldn't spend. But if you're going to have a bet, look at our prices and have a bet there if our prices are competitive. And because when the majors come, I promise you, Brent, for each one of the 3 majors that we have left this season, I'll make sure that there's prizes of at least 30,000 Rand for each major. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's not going to be ridiculous that you name the golfer that makes a hole-in-one, what club he hits, and the wind speed at the time. It's not going to be anything like that. But it will be reasonable and catchable stuff, and we'll make sure that for each one of the majors, we'll give 33,333 Rand, so it's 100,000 Rand to go for the majors in bets. And when we give the free bet, it's not a free bet because it's too big for a free bet. You don't want to force a guy into even 6,000 Rand or 33,000. It's free bets. They can use it over a period. We'll be reasonable. I mean, I think remember our mate that won the 25,000.
Emil, yeah.
Yeah, we let him use it over, I think, almost 12 months. We want you to stay to your size and your comfort zone and everything. We don't want you punting out of your comfort zone or too big. So that's what it is. But come online, have a look. There's a lot to bet on now. Our prices are competitive. There's some amazing horse racing coming this week. 8 grade 1s, incredible horse racing. You know what I'm saying? They bring incredible stuff. Hawam, Socrates, just really, really good horses as we build up to the July, which would be 10 days away. If not for Corona, and now it's 5 weeks away, 4.5 weeks away. But we're going to have a lot of specials there. Now, I've been sponsoring a few guys, really knowledgeable horse racing, calling pundits. Probably the leading in the Natal tipster is a guy called Sheldon Peters.
I've been watching.
He's part of the GGGaming team now. Also, you'll see him start wearing stuff like that. He's going to do specials for us and offer a lot of stuff to GGGaming people. So he can do that. And, I mean, if anybody wants wait till you see the rest of our winter line, Brent, that's coming out. You'll get yours delivered to you next week. Although I believe our delivery system's not so good and you had to go fetch it. But we've got some really, really cool stuff coming out. Really cool stuff. And you know what we'll do is we'll even run a couple of competitions if guys want it.
I'm sure they would.
It's pretty cool stuff. So that's
so just quickly on the golf, Gary, because I want to ask you about something on the July, but just on the golf quickly, you mentioned last week you in touch with a guy who's pretty hot with his tipping. You got anything for us in the Travelers on the outright?
Okay, so he's tipped 3 guys. The one guy, I don't know who he is. He was a 200 to 1 shot. And if I go look at who it is now, I will lose him. I will lose this. I'm not going to lose him. I'll lose you.
You won't find him. You won't find him, yeah.
So the two that I've got that he liked a hell of a lot, and they both played exceptionally well this week, were the two youngsters. I don't know if you watched the tournament this week, Brent.
I watched bits of it. I watched bits of it. When the weather suspended it, I packed it in. I didn't think they'd come back.
Okay, so they came back and they finished. And when they came back, it was a one-man show. It was, Webb Simpson by himself. And it was one of the best golf displays I've ever seen. It was golf made easy. Hit the fairway, which is a lot easier for these guys after there's been a weather delay, and the ball's not running. But it was simple for Webb Simpson. Hit the fairway 300 yards away from the tee, hit it on the green, anything between 6 foot and 15 foot, and every putt he hit was perfectly struck. If it didn't go in, and most of it did, it touched the edge of the hole. It was one of the most clinical black nine displays I've ever seen, and I'm not a big fan of Webb Simpson. I don't know why. It's just never been a guy that I think's got the wow factor, but it was absolutely almost flawless golf, and good luck to him. But there were two youngsters that chased him home, and both had chances, and both hit a lot of good putts that could have also gone in that missed. And the one is Neiman. I think he's Chilean. And the other one is the Mexican Ansa. And they both chased Webb Simpson home. And they were outstanding. And that's who he's tipped this week. And I'm going to go for both of them. I like them both. I really think that they're both big runners. I'm not just saying that because he tipped it. There would have been two guys that I would have definitely considered. To me, what I saw last week, there were three guys that stood out. So that's not really fair. Webb Simpson did. I'm not a big one for going back to back. I think that there's a lot of pressure on him now. But Ansa, Neiman, and Koepka, my bloke didn't mention Koepka, but he just looked like, for the first time ever, I saw Koepka look like he wanted to win a tournament other than a major. Yeah. And he started to score so well. And he was, I thought, outstanding. And I think that he's going to win a tournament very, very soon. And I think that obviously he's going to be a contender in all three of the majors that are left, Brent. You can never write him. He's got to be, when it comes to majors, your first name that you look at, right?
Yeah, well, for the majors, definitely. But it's interesting you mention him. But let me first start with your two. Just quickly looked at your site for prices. Answer 28-1. And what's the other guy's name? Nick? I can never get his name. Yeah, he is 33-1. But now it's interesting you say Koepka, because he's my selection this week. He's 20-1 there on GGGaming. And one of the reasons I like Koepka was his performance last week, which you rightly say was a bit out of character for him of late. He really does focus on the majors. The other thing is this tournament, Gary, traditionally is the week after the US Open. And if you look at how that guy has done in the US Open of late, he's either won it or he's been runner-up. So in other words, he's come into this week very much distracted from what has happened the week before when he's been in the heat of battle in the US Open. He does have a top 10 finish to his credit, but now he comes into this event without that sort of having had the pressure the week before the US Open. And I think that's going to free him up. It's a course that does suit guys. It's not all about distance, but definitely, it's more about distance than last week was. And I think Koepka's a cracking bet at 20-1.
Definitely. I mean, it's just the wrong price. If you go through, I don't know if you can bring up the betting there, Brent. I don't know if that's possible.
I can. I don't know how to work with this overlay. I've probably got to take this off, but I'll bring the betting up now.
I can do it here. I'll let me go look at it from here. Travelers Champions. It will take me a second. I've got it here. I'll read it what I'm thinking. So I went to the match bets.
While you're looking, Gary, I just want to mention one other thing, because I don't want to go into the detail now. But we're going to launch a competition next week called Last Golfer Standing. And what it's going to be, and we haven't decided exactly which format, and we'll discuss the prize during the week, but it's going to be everybody gets to pick a player, and that player has to finish in the top 25 that particular week. And if he does, you move on to the next week. It's as simple as that. Until we got one player left who ultimately wins it. And we'll throw in a bonus there. For example, someone who manages to go 10 weeks picking a top 25, which sounds easy, but it's pretty tough at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, the problem is that there are a few confusing issues. One, so you choose a new player every week, am I right, Brent? Or do you go with
that was one of the things I wanted to discuss with you is maybe we'll make a rule that you can't pick the same guy twice in a row or something along those lines.
Well, I mean, but so every week we'll need people's selection. But what about this, Brent? Just while we're thinking about it,
yes, sure.
Guys' feedback, right? What about if we charge the guys 200 Rand to enter, right? And then whatever comes into the pool, I'll match.
Okay.
So if we get 100 entries and there's 20 grand, GGGaming will put in another 20 grand in cash. Right?
Okay.
And we'll incentivize the guys with, come on the show when you're down to 3 players or whatever it is. We'll find things to do. So you and I'll give it a lot of thought. If the guys have got any ideas out there, let them give it to us. But can we go back to the golf betting now for a second?
Yes, sure.
So we got the Shambo at like 10-1, McIlroy all around the same area here, 11-1, Justin Thomas. Now, let's go through all those 3. I have something against all 3 of those, if I had to tell you. The Shambo, to me, has been bubbling for 2 weeks in a row. I'm not sure he can keep it going for a 3rd week. He's playing outstanding golf. He really is. But to just keep being in the top sort of limelight every week for 3 weeks and in the final group, I think mentally he may be drained this week. I could be totally wrong.
Yes, I'm with you. If you look at the Shambo, okay, some of the form was before the break. I think he said something like 5 or 6 top 5s in a row leading into last week. And then last week on the weekend, he just let it slip a bit. And I'm taking him on this week. I agree with you.
Okay, McIlroy, I don't know what it is, right? But he just throws in a bad round on the weekend. When you see McIlroy put together 3 or 4 good holes like only he can do, you just don't feel like he could ever not win a tournament. Hey, Brent, it's sort of bang, he hits at prodigious distances, miles. He's a great driver of a golf ball. Great, beautiful. Then he hits these irons that he's got such control. And you just think this guy's got to win every single tournament. But then something goes wrong somewhere. There just seem to be chinks in his armory. The fact is with his ability, I mean, to me, he's probably afterwards the best golfer maybe in the last 50 years. Well, I don't know about that. I can't go that far back. But the last 30 years. Yeah, I mean, obviously Lenny Watkins was a lot better, so we can't go back to Lenny Watkins.
Let's not talk about the Pride Cup there.
But, to me, he's got so much talent. He's just a great golfer, and he hasn't won enough tournaments. He will, I think, in time. But McIlroy, I want to see him win first, and then I'll jump on the bandwagon. Justin Thomas, also, he looks like there's been a lot of pressure on him and a huge amount of expectations, and he hasn't been able to put it away in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to leave him out as well. Rahm, again, keeps looking like he's going to do something, but gives away too much ground in one round. So there you go. Those are the top 4 in the betting. Then you get to Koepka. If this was a US Open, he would be in front of all those guys in the betting in my mind. So 20-1 Koepka is a big. Webb Simpson, I'm going to give a miss to. Patrick Cantlay, I see you've got him in one of his groups there.
Yes.
I think he's going to. This is his comeback, if I remember correctly. He hasn't been out yet, and I think you'll see that. He'll battle there. So then we go down to.
I think the reason he's so short as well. I think as an amateur, he shot something like a 60 on this course or something a few years back. So that's one of the reasons why I think the bookies are respecting him. He does like the course.
And then there's, Dustin Johnson again. He's going to win soon, but I'm not sure if he's ready yet. Now, here come the things that I'm finding interesting. Forget Rose, Answer, Shawfley. We got Shawfley, I thought was excellent 2 weeks ago. Excellent. Here's one that I find quite interesting. Bubba Watson, 28-1. The last 2 weeks, he's been 80-1. So what is it that, yes, he's played a bit better. But I think he's won this title 3 times before, Gary. I think he's won it 3 or 4, and he's either going for his 5th or his 4th. So He loves this course. He absolutely loves it. So it's interesting to see, but I didn't realize how much bigger he was in the previous 2 weeks. Been so huge. He's been massive prices. So, I mean, yeah. So it's interesting. I'm going to go with the 3 that I mentioned to you. They're all big prices. Golf is a game where you can back 3 guys at a row. 3 guys at 30, 40, 50-1 and still get some value. And like I said, we're going to bet right through until Sunday night. And what we will do, the more business you give us, the more not more likely, we'll always help out. But if you back the guy 33-1 and he's short and coming into the last round, it is legal to lay back to us under those circumstances. And we will definitely take your call, and we will definitely do you a fair price on the take back. So if you get a guy who gets into the mix on Sunday and you want to take a bit of profit, we're there to help you with that 100%.
Okay, excellent, Gary. So looking forward to the golf. And in fact, just talking about the golf, and I've got excited for the PGA golf again for the first time in ages. I think I was telling you as well, I've been focusing on the majors, and now with so little else to do, I've been focusing on the golf and getting into it. So I'm looking forward to our weekly chats on the PGA. And we'll have some more competitions that lined up for the guys as well. But plenty of other sports this weekend as well, Gary.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Premier League just doesn't stop rolling. It's the one that I've battled to get into a little bit. And there've been so few goals in the first half, and I haven't quite got my mind around are they? We discussed it last week. How much are they putting in, and how much is a little bit held back? Also, just a lot of the teams are playing for not a hell of a lot right now. That's a fact. At that time of the year, they're not going to get into Europe. They're not going to get relegated. We've discussed it before. But I find that there have been so few goals in the first half that I find it a little bit difficult to watch, and I haven't quite got into the no crowds yet. It's definitely improving, and I'm very grateful for it, and I am enjoying it. But it's not my first choice of things to watch right now. Certainly the golf's right up there, and so too is the rugby.
Yes.
Which is world class. But, I just want to say one thing, that guys need to watch the sport and enjoy it, because we're not out of the woods with this corona yet, Brent, not even on a worldwide basis. If you look, Bundesliga came back first with the soccer. They seem to be having massive numbers again in Germany. They had a tennis tournament in Europe. I don't know if you saw what happened there. The one guy tested positive. They went and they tested a few other guys who were with him. What was it? Who was it that tested positive again?
I know Djokovic. I know Djokovic. I didn't know if it was Djokovic was tested positive as well.
Then Djokovic, who organised the tournament, has now tested positive. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on sport and what's going on there again. And we have to just realise that they can take it away again at any time, and you just got to bear that in mind. I don't think it will happen. And I'll just say, as well, New Zealand, no cases, and all of a sudden this week there were 2, right? Yes, they came from England and they came there for family reasons, but if those 2 aren't watched, who knows where it gets to? And then all of a sudden there's no crowds or limiting crowds. So I'm just saying, let's not take everything for granted again. Let's really enjoy it and everything. I see cricket, they were going to come back in South Africa, and then quite a few people tested positive in South African cricket. The PSL's got a lot of people there that have tested positive. So I'm not sure that I am sure that we're not out of the woods. That I know. So, and I mean, the truth is, Nick Watney, I think, tested positive with the golf, and nobody else did for PGA. But Justin Thomas came out, and he was very vocal with what he said. So it was in South Carolina, as you know, at Harbour Town. And what he said was, he was disgusted at what he saw from the public there. He said the people are on the beach all day. He said every restaurant that he drives past is absolutely chock-a-block, and people aren't caring about social distancing or masks or anything. And he referred to South Carolina, where he was, as a zoo. That's how bad it was. So, we do have to realize that things can stop at any time, and we don't want that to happen. We really don't. So let's just try to be as careful as we can. But as far as watching sport is, little from all of our sides, a little bit less critical, you know what I'm saying, and just take advantage of what it is and really, really enjoy it. And it is fantastic. And the rugby, another power weekend coming, isn't it, Brent? And I'll watch your show tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to that and seeing what the Mavens have to say there. But another couple of cracking games, isn't there, Brent?
Yeah, and I see you were out pretty early with your prizes. I think you had 13.5 Crusaders, and some of the overseas books opened 6.5. Now I must tell you, I priced the game at 11.5, so you were a hell of a lot closer to where I would have priced it. But some of the bookies who I've heard stories, some of the guys let's call it smaller local bookies, not guys that we've got relationships with, but they're quite new. I heard a couple of guys open 6.5, and they've been closing people's accounts and stuff like that already because they took such a pounding. And that's the problem. When you stick your neck out, you've got to be prepared to take, if you like what you do. You say, we're going 13.5. You're prepared to lay that 13.5 because you're sticking your neck out for it.
For sure. We come out on Sunday 12 noon. The guys need to know that again. Sunday 12 noon, we're out first. No indication from anywhere else in the world before TAB New Zealand. Before everybody else, we came out. Dave came out at 11.5 Crusaders. I wanted to go 13.5. We went 13.5. We didn't lay that much there, Brent. We moved down to 10.5 when the overseas came out at 9.5.
Yes.
And just give people an arbitrage opportunity without anything, right? That's just stupid business to be an idiot. Although I'm quite well qualified. But the fact is that, so we moved it to 10.5. I still think that's far too low. The Crusaders, I thought they were pretty powerful. Yes, there were a few this and that, but I thought they were a good side. I was really, really impressed. And I think that the Chiefs just let everybody down again, didn't they, Brent? I was
on the Blues, so they didn't let me down.
Oh, no, I'm saying just
yes, but I hear what you. A lot was expected of the Chiefs, but to be fair, they've got a big injury list as well. I think they battled with injuries.
Now, that's what I was going to say. I know he's a lock, but without Frittelli, cheap same side, Brent. And that I'll put my banana on the block. That when Frittelli comes back, if he does, they'll improve a hell of a lot. They've been poor so far. They really have, and they got all these names in the backs, and you think they're going to lock things up, but they just haven't done it yet. So I'm going to go for them. I'm going to go for them to get a Harding this week, and I'm going to go with the Crusaders at -10.5. Like I said, I kept it at 13.5. I have to stick with what I said. I'm going to go and, I'm going to go and see if I can get 9.5. I will get it at places. And back the Crusaders plus 9.5. If you like the Chiefs, 10.5 at GGGaming is probably the best price that you're going to find. Come along, and we'd be more than happy to accommodate you there. Just because I like them doesn't mean that they won't win. Just a quick question. If everybody can see the screen, am I right, Brent? Everybody?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So just for 250 Rand, the first person that gives you the correct answer, and you don't know who it is, but who is the model that we've used there in our GGGaming.bet logo? And it was all done. I mean, you can see she's wearing pants that are branded and the shirt was branded. So it's no problem. We can mention her name and everything's well known. She was, I think, one of the voted sexiest women in South Africa, probably a few years ago, FHM sexiest woman in South Africa. But, we'll give 250 to the first correct.
Okay. So give it about 30 seconds and then you can give me the answer. We'll give the guys, because when they're watching the show on the premiere. And then should we give a couple of, we'll give a voucher away, say tomorrow, but should we give a couple, one on each game for the rugby, Gary?
Yeah, definitely. So let's go with this with the rugby. Let's go with, I love shirt numbers. So let's go shirt numbers in the first game's the Blues. Am I correct, Brent? We haven't spoken about that game yet. So we'll get there next. Let's go shirt Crusaders game. Shirt numbers, Crusaders, Chiefs. Anything within 5 points qualifies, and you can get 500 Rand for the person that gets it right.
Okay, excellent. And then, I think the Blues is the first game. I think you're right. So the Blues at home to the Highlanders. And that one I priced up at 9.5, and I think you came out at 11.5.
Again, I'll erred on the side. 10.5 was where we wanted to come out. I went 11.5 because that's what I fancied. The Blues have impressed me. They've made me money 2 weeks in a row. And they're a good side. And like I said, they've got a lot of experience in the change room now. And we discussed it last week. When you sit in a change room and you see people like Carter and Barrett and things like that, you're going to get an extra 5%. Am I right? For Brent as a youngster, sitting in a dressing room with legends like that. I'm not saying that other things, but I mean, you may, even the greatest rugby players in the world, it's unlikely they'll ever sit in a change room with two fly halves as good as Barrett and Carter. That's a fact. Doesn't matter who you are. It's unlikely that you ever in that fortunate position. If I fall over in the next 3 minutes, it's because my sushi was meant to get you at 6:30 and they haven't delivered it. And not because I'm hungry, just because I'm damn angry about it. No, I'm only joking. So I think that the Blues are on a roll, and I think that I don't know if we should. It's one of those things where they always have in the past disappointed at some stage, but maybe they're over that, and maybe we should just keep enjoying the ride until something goes wrong. That's what I feel. I'm going to take the 9.5 again. If you want to get onto the Highlanders, plus 10.5 is the best you're going to get anywhere. Come to GGGaming, and again, we're happy to accommodate you. And in this game, let's go first try scorer.
First try scorer, the player who scores the first try. Okay.
No.
I know Couch Critic is definitely going to choose a hooker.
No, we do what species he is. Is he a human or is he an alien? So give the guy's name. 500 Rand goes to that. And if you want to, in case you're not the only person that gets it right, give a time of the first try as well. It will only be relevant if there's a case of tiebreaker, right? So if you don't do it, you don't have to do it. But if there's a tiebreaker and somebody else does do it, he's going to automatically win. If you don't do it and you don't get it right, you'll still qualify for the 500 Rand. And then let's just sweeten it up with, if somebody wins both prizes, and this has happened before, if somebody wins both prizes, we'll take the 1,000 and make it 5,000. We'll give them an extra 4,000, Brent? And I hope that we get more viewer this week. You know what I mean?
I'm actually not even going to make the show live. I'm just going to enter it myself.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to, before we go, and I'm not saying we should go now, I'd like to have a dip at that golf, Brent. If you can bring up those 6 games again, and
Yes.
like that.
Okay. Let me bring those up quickly. Let me bring those up. There we go. McIlroy,
so
Thomas.
Shit. I'm going to go with Rory. I'm back.
Rory.
I do my every week. I might as well do it. I'll go Rory. I'll go Koepka. I'm going to go Dustin Johnson.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go, just to break the trend and not use the first person, I'm going to go with Bubba Watson.
Right.
I'm going to go with Reed. And I'm going to go with Frittelli. You know, he only had an ordinary third round. Otherwise, he would have been right up there. I mean, people may not know.
Yes.
He's PGA Tour already. He's a good golfer. He's a really good golfer. And I thought that his interview afterwards was excellent. And, good luck to him. So, those are my 6. I'll do well to get 2. But at least I'll have a dip at it and see where we go from there.
Excellent. And the guys... sorry, Gary.
Neil Andrew I don't know if the guys can also, give their impression about it. Neil's quite keen to do a joint show with us as well, Brent, when it comes to
that'll be great.
So when I speak to him later, I'm going to tell him that we definitely are interested. If he does want to do something with us, that he should contact you, and we'll make it even more interactive with the guys and everything. So, but...
you know what we should do then maybe is for the majors, Gary?
Okay.
That could be a good idea because I think they're quite condensed this year, and we can even do live shows with the guys coming in. We can decide how we want to do, but that's excellent. Let's chat about that. That sounds good.
Yeah. Like I said, every major is going to be 33,333 rand. Do you know what I mean? So the guys got a chance to win 100,000 there, and there'll be more sweetness. But again, spend, have a few bets, spend your money there, so at least you can scoop the pool when you do win it, Brent? I mean, that's what you want.
No, excellent. You definitely. And just to mention to the guys who maybe tune in late or don't catch the start of the show, the details of this competition will be down below. You've got to pick all 6 winners, and you email brent@goodforthegame.co.za, and a 6,000 rand voucher if you can nail all 6. Obviously, normal terms and conditions apply. But Gary, I think that brings us pretty much to the end, unless you've got a nice horse for us or something.
The model there is Sashi Naidu, just so you know.
Oh, yes, Sashi Naidu. Geez, I haven't heard her name for a long time, but I recognize the name, yeah. It'll be interesting to see if anyone gets that.
It will be interesting. Let's go. Let me see. I just want to go back to my site here. I just want to see something here. I've tipped you the golf. I mean, those 3 are definitely value. And if you back all 3 of them, you're still going to end up with around about 10 to 1, any one of the 3, which is still big value. And you're going to. It's hard to picture that tournament not having Koepka, Neiman, or Answer in the play come Sunday night. So I think you'll get decent value there. Horse racing, I'm going to tip Rahm. It may be, I don't know, it may be the last time we get to see him run in South Africa. Because he's probably going to go overseas. He may run in the July, may go afterwards. I don't know these things. I'm not privy to any information from that stable or anything. But he definitely, his last run was impressive. And I mean, the Mark de Kock stable has thrown in some really impressive runs lately from all their horses, most of their horses. That a horse that ran yesterday called, how do I forget his name? Not Major.
Marshall.
Yeah. That's it. Exceptionally impressive. Really, really impressive. So, he's obviously come back from the short break in devastating form. So I'm going to say Rahm to win fairly comfortably on Saturday, on the weekend. And a lot of Group 1 racing, jump into that. You got some winners in the golf. I like both the minuses in the rugby. But Brent, I think, you know what I mean? Time to stick your thingy out, your neck out, not your thingy, your neck out. And you've said Koepka. So that's good enough. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? That's
I like Koepka in the golf. I'll do my selections as well on the chat when the show premieres as well. I'll do my selections of the 6 there. And on the rugby, I must say, look, I do like the Blues this season. I do think the handicaps are pretty well set this week. But if I had to choose, I would say Crusaders to win going away. I think they will win quite comfortably in the end against the Chiefs. I think they'll win well. And just a question for you quickly, Gary. Durban, July. I backed a horse anti-post that wasn't in the initial nominations, but then I saw something on Twitter that maybe it was still in the mix. Queen Supreme. Is it in the? Is
Yeah,
it? I took it with you guys. I took 40-1 with you guys.
Oh, no, it's cancelled. Thought you took it with another. No. I think Queen Supreme, when I last looked, was in the teens, 12, 14, 16-1 roundabout.
So I potentially got a runner. Obviously, it's got to start, but potentially.
Much will. I mean, if a Rahm doesn't run, out will come 20%, and she'll shorten even further. She could very well be the stable elect from the Cox stable, as we've discussed. That's where she is, owned by some illustrious owners and everything. And I think JJ van der Linde is one of them.
Sounds like a beating going on in the background there. Is that the sushi delivery guy getting beaten?
No, that's Holly, the little terrorist that I introduced you to on the show last. No, I'm going to let her loose on the sushi guy when he comes here. There she's blocking. Brent, she's relentless, right? She grabs onto my wife's foot, okay, and she won't let go. And I mean, it's pathetic to see my poor wife walking on the floor here, dragging the dog behind her. But I mean, she's crazy. I mean, my other poor dog, like I said, he's got a few moves. He jumps on the couch. That's where he watches the show from now, because she's still not able to get on the couch. But I'll tell you something. She's a week, maximum 2 weeks away from getting on the couch. And then Duke and I don't know where we're going to hide and where we're going to run away for safety. But no, it's great to have her. Yeah, she's an amazing dog. But I've never seen anything with more energy in my life, and it's amazing. But yeah, so it's been a good show, Brendan. I look forward to the next one, and we just got to get the balance right. Are we giving rugby enough attention, or is too much going on golf? Something that you and I will discuss in a week.
Yes.
But like I said, from GGGaming side, we don't have to do anything more on the rugby. Let's be perfectly honest, Brent. I just wanted to touch on one thing. Let's take it to 2.5 minutes. So from a GGGaming side, I don't think we have to do anything more on the rugby. You know what I mean? We come out first in the world. We bet in play. We don't knock you back or anything like that. So it's our passion, it's yours and my passion and everything. With the golf, we're trying to get to that position. You know, if we get the support and everything, like I said, I'm happy to involve more markets every week. Top 10, top 26 places to start. Anything the guys want, let them send it to. But what I wanted to say is, you mentioned something about smaller bookmakers, that they laid the plus minus 6.5 the Crusaders and then shut down accounts. I just want to say something. I'm not saying we've never shut down accounts. Of course, we've limited people, you know. We've done it in the sevens. I'm not going to sit and say we haven't done it, right? We've done it in the sevens to two really smart guys in the sevens, and I speak to them.
I think I know those guys. They're on my show every now and again.
Exactly. We've resolved our issues and everything, and they're smart guys. And once I understood what they were doing, it's fine. But the fact is that, so we do limit certain people. We try not to. We wouldn't limit somebody on rugby. I mean, Henrik wins every single week. We got a debit order with Henrik. We just every week when the rugby season comes, we just, you know what I mean, how it does. But that's fine. But if you're a bookmaker and you limit people because they've got an unfair advantage or they're too good, that's life. And there are people in horse racing that have got unfair, maybe illegal advantages. Mm-hmm. But if you're a bookmaker and you go out there and you set the market wrong, mistakes happen and then the bets get cancelled. That's life. Brent, if I go and I now go plus 10.5 the Crusaders, that bet would legally
that's an error.
It's an error, and it's a glaring error. But if you don't have the expertise to know what's right and wrong in your business, and you see 6.5 and you think, well, that's right. Okay, these guys must know what they're doing. And you set out your market at 6.5. You can't close somebody if you think that, what have they done? First of all, they haven't won, right? But you made the mistake, right? Not the punter. So what are the punters meant to do? Not have a bet because you might have made a mistake, and then you didn't make a mistake, and they've gone and taken 10 from GGGaming when they could have gone 6 from somebody else, right? You made the mistake. Is it fair to punish the punter and close his account? Is it fair to cancel that bet because you're 3 points out on the market? Where does it come in? 3 points. Brent, I'm 3 points out most weeks when we said when there's 7 games, right? When the Super Rugby is in full flow, I'm often 3 points out on a Sunday, right? I don't close your account when you come and get on there. It's your opinion versus mine. You know what I mean?
And the reason you're putting your opinion out there early is because you want to attract customers.
Exactly.
So now you're attracting them. So what's the point of attracting them and then saying, thanks, but no thanks, we don't want you back? I mean, rather, and there are bookmakers out there, Gary, and there's big bookmakers. Like if you look at a bookmaker like a Hollywood, for example, they don't come out early with their rugby. And when they come out, they're fairly middle of the range. But that's fine. That's they've got a different strategy. They've got so much other ways of marketing themselves and that. So rugby's not their bread and butter. So they come out. You can get a good solid handicap bet with them, but they're not coming out on Sunday because they don't need that business, if I can put it that way. But if you are coming out, you can't go and limit the guys.
No, I agree with you. Exactly. Hollywood are a great business, right? They focus on different things to what we focus on. It's a different market. Ideal Hollywood customer. You're a much better GG Gaming customer. That's where your profile is. You know what I'm saying, hey, Brent? You're not going to go and take open bets that you need or go sit in a store. Hollywood, they got hundreds of thousands of customers, literally, right? And they don't need to go out early with rugby, and that's not what they want. We need to do it because we enjoy it. I love the challenge, and these are the customers I want.
Yes.
But the fact is, I'm not scared. I'm happy to get up there if other bookmakers want to come as well and let punters come and fire questions at us. I'll do it by myself, right? I'm going to look stupid in some instances and I'll be wrong, and the sympathy will go with the punters, right? A lot of the time. But I'm happy to stand there and answer questions while we've done things, Brent. Let people throw tomatoes, right? And some will hit and I'll be right, but I'll improve my business that way, right? I'm happy to stand there on a live show or sit down on a live show with punters and let them ask questions and find out why we do it. And if maybe I'm wrong, but to limit a punter because you sent out 3 points below a market is bullshit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Agreed, 100%.
I vented that. We went over the 40 minutes.
That's fine, Gary. Listen, it's been good talking. Looking forward to getting stuck into the golf. I'm looking forward to a bit of horse racing because I'm getting into that as well. And of course, for me, particularly the rugby. Just a reminder to the guys about the competition. The details will be below. And also, of course, the rugby show Thursday night at 9 o'clock. We'll give away another voucher on that show for the first time. And I'll definitely wear some of my GG kit as well.
New stuff next week, and we'll give some of it away. Wait till you see the cool tops I'll be wearing in 10 days' time. Brent, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into all of that, but even more so, I'm looking forward to getting stuck
your
into
sushi.
I'll see you next week, maybe.
Excellent, Gary Lentin. Thanks very much. That was Gary down there from Cape Town. His sushi has arrived. Thanks, everyone, Thanks, Gary. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And that looks mighty weird. So let's just take that down. So thanks, everyone, for watching GG Gaming Gone Mad. The show will premiere at 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. I'll be watching it with you. Competition, of course, for the live viewers. And we'll go every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. But see you Thursday night, 9 o'clock, for the handicap rugby chat that matters.